Welcome to today's video, where we're covering two key strategies to boost your English skills: practicing speaking and expanding your vocabulary. First, we'll discuss how practicing speaking every day, even in small ways, can significantly enhance your fluency. Whether you're speaking with a friend, talking to yourself, or recording and reviewing your speech, these practices will help you become more comfortable and confident in using English. Then, we'll shift our focus to vocabulary. Expanding your vocabulary is more than just memorizing words. It's about using them effectively in real-life situations. We'll explore practical techniques for learning words in context, understanding collocations and phrases, and making vocabulary practice a fun part of your daily routine. So, if you're eager to improve both your speaking skills and your vocabulary, stick around. We've got some valuable tips and insights coming up that will help you take your English to the next level. Let's get started. Overcome your fear of speaking English. Many people hesitate to speak English because they worry about making mistakes or being judged. This fear creates a barrier to fluency and limits opportunities to practice. However, you cannot improve without stepping outside your comfort zone and speaking up. From today, promise yourself, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Start speaking, even if you feel unsure, and you'll gradually gain confidence and skill. The biggest hurdle isn't the lack of knowledge, but fear. And fear can only be overcome by taking action. So, let's start with the first step. Embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. Step 1. Embrace mistakes and speak without fear. The first step to improving your English is to embrace your mistakes rather than fear them. Many learners freeze up when they try to speak, fearing they'll use the wrong words or make grammatical errors. But remember, every mistake is a lesson in disguise. You learn more from speaking imperfectly than from staying silent. The more you speak, the more your brain adapts to using English in real time. Mistakes are natural and necessary. No one expects you to be perfect, especially when learning a new language. Even native speakers make mistakes while speaking. The difference is that they don't let those errors stop them from continuing the conversation. When you allow yourself to speak freely without worrying about being perfect, you create opportunities for growth. Change your mindset. Rather than seeing mistakes as failures, view them as stepping stones to improvement. Step 2. Practice thinking in English. Stop translating in your head. One major challenge in becoming fluent in English is the habit of translating everything into your native language. This slows down conversation and makes speaking feel difficult. Instead of thinking directly in English, many people translate each word or sentence from their mother tongue. This habit makes speaking feel unnatural and prevents you from building fluency. Why should you stop translating? Translating each word in your head slows down your speech and creates a barrier between your thoughts and words. It takes time to translate, and during this time, the conversation might move on, leaving you behind. Additionally, languages don't always translate perfectly. Certain phrases or expressions in your native language might not exist in English, leading to confusion and awkward phrasing. When you translate, you're treating English as a code to be deciphered rather than a language to communicate in. This keeps you stuck in a beginner mindset and prevents you from thinking naturally in English. The goal is fluency, which can only be achieved when you stop using translation as a crutch and start thinking directly in English. Step 3. Start simple. Build gradually. In the beginning, You don't have to force yourself to think in complex English sentences. Start simple. Think of basic nouns, verbs, or short phrases. As your comfort level increases, you can start thinking in more complex sentences and ideas. For example, instead of just thinking food when you're hungry, build on it. I'm feeling hungry. What should I eat for lunch? Gradually, you'll notice that these thoughts come to you naturally, without needing to pause and translate. Step 4. Use English for simple tasks. Another way to shift your thinking process is to use English for simple everyday tasks. For example, if you usually write your grocery list or to-do list in your native language, switch to English. Try thinking through daily decisions in English as well. When you're deciding what to cook or what to wear, express those thoughts in English. The more you integrate English into your day-to-day routine, the easier it will become to think in English. You can also set reminders or alarms in English on your phone. Use English in your calendar, or even set your phone language to English. These small shifts will immerse you in English, even in simple tasks, and help your brain adapt to thinking in English rather than translating. Step 5. Overcome the mental block. One reason people translate in their heads is because they're afraid of making grammatical mistakes. This leads to overthinking, which results in hesitation and slow speech. Stop worrying about perfect grammar in your head. When you think in your native language, you don't consciously construct perfect sentences before speaking. You just speak. Apply the same principle to English. Your grammar doesn't have to be perfect for your message to be understood. By thinking directly in English, you train your brain to process language more fluidly, even if it's not grammatically perfect every time. This way, you'll feel more confident in speaking, as your thoughts and words will align more naturally. To summarize, the first step in mastering English fluency is to practice thinking directly in English. Stop translating in your head and instead label your environment, have internal dialogues, and use English in simple tasks. By making these small shifts, you'll train your brain to process English naturally. With daily practice, you'll notice that your speech becomes quicker and more fluid, and soon enough, you'll be thinking and speaking in English without hesitation. Start today thinking English and watch your fluency improve. Moving to the next part of our studies, let's talk about something crucial for improving your English: speaking every day. It might seem daunting, but it doesn't have to be. Start small, even if it's just a few minutes each day. Find ways to practice speaking English regularly. You could chat with a friend, talk to yourself in front of a mirror, or even narrate what you're doing while you're cleaning the house. The key is to make speaking English a part of your daily routine. If you're feeling nervous about making mistakes in public, here's a tip. Try recording yourself. Pick a simple topic, like what you did today, and record a quick 2-minute video of yourself speaking in English. Don't stress about getting everything perfect. Focus on speaking naturally. Once you've recorded it, watch the video and listen carefully. Notice where you can improve and where you're doing well. This self-reflection is super valuable. It helps you spot your mistakes and gives you a chance to work on them without the pressure of speaking in front of others. Step 1. Challenge yourself. Ready to take it up a notch? Challenge yourself to have short conversations in English every day. Start with small tasks like ordering food, asking for directions, or having a quick chat with a colleague or friend. These small interactions are powerful. They help build your confidence and fluency. Over time, You'll find yourself feeling more comfortable speaking English in different situations. Step 2. Make your environment English-friendly. Creating an English-friendly environment is a great way to boost your speaking practice. Surround yourself with English media like podcasts, TV shows, or books. Dive into these resources and engage with them. Discuss what you're watching or reading, either with friends or by talking to yourself. Think about joining communities or groups that use English. This could be through online platforms like language exchange apps or local meetups. These spaces are perfect for practicing because everyone there is learning, just like you. Mistakes are part of the process, and in these environments, they're actually encouraged. It's all about learning and improving together. By immersing yourself in English in a comfortable, supportive setting, you'll find that speaking becomes a more natural part of your daily life. Step 3. Speak now, improve later. All right, let's wrap up with a key idea. Speak now, improve later. The most important step in mastering English is to start speaking, even if you're worried about making mistakes. Embrace those errors as part of your learning journey. They're your stepping stones to fluency. Try to speak every day. Challenge yourself with different situations. And remember, nobody expects you to be perfect. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. So, jump in, start speaking, and watch as your confidence grows. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Speak now, and you'll see your fears start to fade away. Moving on to another tip is to expand your vocabulary. Focus on usage, not memorization. Let's talk about expanding your vocabulary. Knowing more words is essential for clear and effective communication. But there's a common pitfall many learners fall into: memorizing long lists of words without understanding how to use them. Instead of just cramming words into your memory, focus on how to use them in real-life situations. When you learn a new word, make it part of your daily life. Use it in sentences, in context, and with others. By practicing this way, you'll not only remember the words better, but you'll also understand how to use them naturally in your speech. So, let's make vocabulary a part of your everyday language practice and watch your ability to express yourself grow. Why context is crucial. Understanding context over memorization. Simply memorizing vocabulary lists can be ineffective because it often leads to forgetting or misusing words. Words change meaning depending on their context. For instance, the word run can mean to participate in a race, to manage a business, or to deplete a supply. Just knowing the word run isn't enough. You need to understand how it's used in different situations. Learn words in context. To truly grasp a word, learn it within the context of sentences and real-life examples. This method helps you remember not only the word, but also its nuances, such as tone and appropriate usage. By seeing how words fit into various sentences, you'll better understand how to use them effectively in conversation. How to expand your vocabulary effectively. Step 1. Learn words in context. Instead of memorizing long lists of vocabulary, focus on learning words within meaningful contexts. Dive into English media that interests you, whether it's articles, TV shows, or podcasts. When you stumble upon a new word, don't just glance at its definition. Notice how it's used in sentences. For instance, if you come across the word compelling in a news article, observe the context. The documentary was compelling because it told a real human story. This approach helps you grasp not only the meaning, but also the nuances and appropriate usage of the word. Step 2. Keep a vocabulary journal. When you encounter a new word, jot it down along with a sentence that illustrates its use. This habit strengthens your understanding and memory. This method helps you remember not only the word, but also its nuances, such as tone and appropriate usage. By seeing how words fit into various sentences, you'll better understand how to use them effectively in conversation. But don't stop at just recording the word. Get creative by using it yourself. Write a few sentences or a short paragraph, incorporating the new word in various contexts. For example, if you learn the word innovative, you might write, "The company launched an innovative product last year. She has an innovative approach to solving problems." By actively using the word, you reinforce its meaning and application, making it easier to recall during conversations. Step 3. Focus on collocations and phrases. What are collocations? Collocations are words that frequently appear together in a language. For example, in English, we say, "make a decision" rather than "do a decision," and "heavy rain" instead of "strong rain." By learning these common word pairings, your speech will sound more fluent and natural. Instead of memorizing individual words in isolation, focus on these natural combinations. For instance, when you learn the word decision, also learn that it commonly pairs with the verb make. This approach helps you remember and use words in a more practical and conversational way. Examples of common collocations. Here are a few collocations to get you started. Take a break. Do your homework. Make an effort. Save time. Break a habit. By integrating collocations like these into your vocabulary, you'll improve your fluency and sound more like a native speaker. This strategy helps you speak more naturally and confidently without getting caught up in overthinking word choices. Practice using new vocabulary. Step 4. Use new words immediately. To make new vocabulary stick, use it as soon as you learn it. Don't wait until you feel completely confident. Jump into real-life situations where you can practice. Whether you're talking with friends, participating in meetings, or even speaking to yourself, incorporating new words helps cement them in your memory. For instance, tell a friend, "I found this article really compelling," or suggest in a meeting, "We should consider an innovative solution to this problem." The more you actively use new words, the more natural they will become, and the quicker they'll become a permanent part of your vocabulary. Step 5. Play word games and puzzles. If traditional vocabulary exercises seem dull, spice things up with word games and puzzles. Engage with games like Scrabble, crosswords, or mobile apps designed to build vocabulary. These activities not only reinforce what you've learned, but also make the process enjoyable. They keep your brain engaged and transform vocabulary practice into a fun and interactive experience. Expand vocabulary through reading. Step 6. Read varied content. One of the most effective ways to grow your vocabulary is through diverse reading. Don't stick to just one type of material. Mix it up. Read novels, articles, news reports, essays, and blogs. Each genre introduces different vocabulary and styles. For example, novels often use rich descriptive language, while news articles offer more formal and objective terms. As you read, keep an eye out for new words, phrases, or expressions. Note how they're used in context and try to incorporate them into your own writing or conversations. This approach helps you understand how words fit into different situations and makes them easier to remember. Conclusion: vocabulary is about usage, not memorization. To wrap up, expanding your vocabulary isn't just about memorizing lists of words. It's about knowing how to use them effectively. Focus on learning words in context, understanding collocations and phrases, and practicing new vocabulary in real-life situations. The more you engage with words actively, the richer your vocabulary will become. This will enhance both your fluency and confidence in English. So, start today. Read widely, listen attentively, and practice using new words every day. Review and application. As we wrap up our discussion on expanding your vocabulary, let's quickly review the key points. Remember, learning vocabulary isn't just about memorizing lists. It's about understanding how to use words in context.